Alright, and I'm back. So, I have a few tidbits of interesting news here. The Rock, that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, vows to never use firearms again in the sets of his movies. We finally have a synopsis for the Batman. We may have a Blink-182 reunion, or at least, one of them is making a movie, kind of about their life. It's weird. And the Eternals gets pulled from movie theaters in certain countries. Let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Okay, so like I said, a lot of stuff to go through. A lot of very interesting stuff, or at least I think it is. Particularly, there's certain things that I did not see coming. Like Blink-182 coming back is, I'm happy about it, but at the same time, it's confusing because I feel like I've heard that my entire life. Like, oh, Blink-182 is gone, and then they're back. And actually, one of the members of the band addresses that specifically. But before we get into all that stuff, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Super Dario World on YouTube and on Twitch live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. So if you want to be a part of the chat, send me a message there. It's the easiest way for you to contact me because, it's live and I can answer you live and I don't have to type anything. I don't have to search messages because sometimes I get bombarded with messages and it's too much, but whatever. You get it. Like, subscribe, follow. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. If you want to send me something privately, it will take me longer to answer. You can always do that on Instagram at Super Dario World and at Dario SDW. So let's get into it because, like I said, we have a big news day. Well, not really big news day. Fridays are usually slow news days and stuff. And actually, I had other stuff that I wanted to cover. And I thought, is each one of these topics, like a segment worthy? And I think they are. But I figured, let's just go through the whole thing because why not? Fun it's Friday. Nobody really cares about anything. So let's just, let's try to have a little fun with it. Let's see how far we go. So first piece of news here, out of all the things is that the Eternals that I reviewed yesterday, you can actually check out the review on this channel. I did yesterday. Again, it has spoilers. At first, I go spoiler free as always, and then I go into a little bit of spoilers. But the Eternals is making news right now because the movie has been pulled from theaters in 3 countries. That is in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar. Now, it's not said specifically why it's been pulled from theaters, but you can always take a guess. Now, I have an article here from comingsoon.net where they speculate about this, and here they say that the report states that the film was met with a variety of edit requests by local censors of these countries, and when Disney was reportedly unwilling to make them, the film was pulled as a result. Despite now appearing in the 3 countries, the United Arab Emirates will still be showing the film, as it's still listed on various websites on local theaters. Now, I have no idea how that works. I have no idea how a movie won't be appearing in a theater, but it's still going to be appearing in theater. Well, it won't be appearing in a country, but it'll still be appearing in theaters. That's kind of weird, but whatever. According to the report, it's unclear exactly why the film was seemingly banned, but sources seem to point to the inclusion of same-sex couple in the film as one of the bigger issues censors may have had with the movie. In the film, Fastos and his husband Ben have a kissing scene due to how LGBTQ+ issues and representation are often censored in certain parts of the world. It's believed that the Eternals is dealing with the same issues. Now, this is actually kind of funny because if that is the issue with the film, I can see how it could be an easy edit. I've seen the film. It's an easy edit. You could just edit out one particular scene and then you'd be done, probably. Actually, no, because they did. It's really weird. In the film, they do put a lot of emphasis on that particular relationship, which doesn't really make sense because they don't really put a lot more emphasis on the bigger name of the movie, which is Jon Snow, Kit Harington. So Kit Harington is a part of the movie and is in a relationship with one of the Eternals, but he's really not in the film. He's in the beginning and he's in the end, and that's it. So you would think that they would have put more emphasis on that relationship than the other one, but all right, whatever. They had a plan for the movie. The weird thing is that they're refusing to do the edit, which makes no sense because Disney edits stuff all the time, particularly to be released in China. Because, it's like money, we want money, and that's the big market over there. So it really doesn't make much sense why they wouldn't just edit this here. I mean, different cultures have different rules, and you just have to respect other cultures' rules, right? Like, if you're going to somebody's house and they say take your shoes off, you just take your shoes off because it's their house, whatever. I mean, if you're trying to make a stance or something, I guess. I don't know. It's just weird because, again, they do edits all the time for a lot of their movies, particularly in China. And I think they do edits for this exact same reason. So I don't understand what they're doing here. But all right, whatever. Doesn't matter. Point is, they're not going to be shown. If you're in any of those countries, which I hear that I have a lot of fans in Qatar. You know, it's fun. I've checked my numbers. Apparently people listen there. Hi, guys. So it's one of those things, like, I guess you won't be seeing the movie there. You're going to have to go into the good old, the Yo-Ho arena, the pirates section of the internet. Anyway, that's news number one. News number two, we finally have a synopsis for the Batman, and I gotta tell you, this synopsis is kind of bullshit because it's not really a synopsis. But anyway, here's how they well, I'll just read you the whole thing because, again, there's not much here, but whatever. Warner Brothers Pictures has finally revealed the official synopsis of Matt Reeves' highly anticipated The Batman, which is currently slated to arrive in theaters on March 4th, 2022. The synopsis mainly teases Robert Pattinson's much intense portrayal of the Dark Knight, describing his version of the Gotham hero as a disillusioned and desperate vigilante who struggles to control his rage. Like I said, this is probably the angriest Batman I've ever seen, but here's the synopsis, official synopsis, according to Warner Brothers. It is an edgy, action-packed thriller that depicts Batman in his early years, struggling to balance rage with righteousness as he investigates a disturbing mystery that has terrorized Gotham. Robert Pattinson delivers a raw, intense portrayal of Batman as a disillusioned, desperate vigilante awakened by the realization that the anger consuming him makes him no better than the ruthless serial killer he's hunting. So, interesting stuff there for the movie. Usually in a synopsis, they don't give you a review of an actor's performance. It's really weird. But okay, they gave us a review there. Interesting. They don't really tell us much about the story except that it's again, the early years of Batman. And so it was always highly suspected it was going to be a different version of Batman Year One. However, they're trying to say that he's just investigating a disturbing mystery that's terrorized Gotham. I'm assuming that's going to be the Riddler part of the story, because it does look like there's something underneath. And I gotta tell you, I really like the anger aspect of this, because we've never seen a really truly mad. I mean, we've seen certain, let's say the Batman when he's in the Dark Knight, when he's interrogating the Joker, and he's like, "Where is she?" So there you see him lose it. But I mean, somebody with a short fuse, like a short fuse Bruce Wayne, we've never really seen that the entire movie, which leads to interesting situations, because Batman usually is calm, cool, collected, calculating, and that's how he gets out of things unscathed. He's a ninja. But when you have a short fuse, you tend to get into a lot more trouble, and you have to get out of it in more violent ways. So, like I said, I like the synopsis. I like Robert Pattinson. In the years since he's left the Twilight franchise behind, I feel like he's done a good job. There was actually a petition to make Kristen Stewart the Joker, which is fucking hysterical. It'd be terrible because she sucks as an actress, but I think it could be pretty funny. It's one of those things that I would love to see it, and I would hate to see it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because they could play. Listen, a gender bender, a gender bended Joker could be interesting, because there's always been this thing that Batman is in love with the Joker, and that's why he can't kill him, because he loves the chaos that he brings and all that stuff, and he needs them. It's been a thing in the comics in certain storylines. It's like, why can't you kill him? Why not just him? You love him, whatever. And so they're two sides of the same coin, and they can't destroy each other. Blah blah blah. It's an interesting aspect. But if you actually make the Joker a girl, that would be way more interesting, because you could add the actual physical attraction and stuff. So it would be fun with somebody who's not Kristen Stewart. I get why they want Kristen Stewart, because it's Robert Pattinson. It would be the Twilight thing. It would be interesting, but get somebody who's a better actress. Just somebody who'd be a better actress, please. Anyway, so that's the synopsis for the Batman there. Like I said, it looks interesting. I'm still very much confused how this movie's gonna fit into the DC Cinematic Universe. Honestly, they should just start anew from here, probably. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's okay, whatever. The point is, this movie looks good. The Batman movies have kind of always stood alone anyway. So let's see where they go from here. Next tidbit of news, Blink 182, former frontman, now frontman of Angels and Airwaves, Tom DeLong, is talked about his directorial debut and a potential Blink 182 reunion. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell am I talking about this? And the reason is, I like Blink 182, so fuck you. It's one of the bands that I grew up with. It's one of the, let me see, it's, what number CD? I never owned it. My brother had the CD, but okay. It was one of the first CDs I ever commissioned to be pirated, because I grew up back in the day when you could actually burn CDs. And a friend of mine, he had the CD, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, which is a live concert, which is basically, it's a concert, but it's a comedy special at the same time. The dudes are fucking hilarious. And so it's one of those things. I actually paid a friend, like, I'll give you money, I'll give you a CD, just burn it for me. And he did. And I had to hide it from my parents because I knew they'd be pissed, because they didn't like that, like the shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker. They didn't approve of that, especially, because I might have been a preteen, so who knows? Anyway, the point is, I'm a fan. So he talked about he's going to be doing a directorial debut. And this is weird. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Tom, he's the guitar player and lead singer. And he left the band because he was going to do a bunch of other stuff. He wanted to do Angels and Airwaves. I've seen Angels and Airwaves live. They did a good show. And he also started a company called To the Stars, where he's doing UFO investigations. The dude went a little cuckoo. But again, when you have money, you can be a little cuckoo, and it's called being eccentric, not being a fucking psychopath. But whatever. He went on the Late Late Show, and he talked about his upcoming projects. And he's, like I said, he's going to be doing his directorial debut, which is weird. Listen, some people should not direct. Some people should. I have no idea what his skills are in this arena. I just know that he's done a bunch of music videos, and I've never really seen his his credentials there. So he could direct stuff, but whatever, doesn't matter. He might be great. You know what? He might be great. Whatever. The point is, I don't think he's experienced, but whatever. Here's a quote from DeLong from the interview. It's a bit autobiographical. It's about some skateboarders that get really involved with paranormal, some of the government stuff. I think a lot of people have been following what I've been doing with some of the government colleagues at my company, To the Stars. So I think there are some Easter eggs that people will be stoked on, but I'm really excited about it. It's kind of an adventure comedy, kind of Spielberg tone. I think people like it. So, first off, Spielberg fan. I like Spielberg movies. Alien stuff, comedy. To me, it sounds kind of like it sounds in a way kind of like Lords of Dogtown, or you know what? No, not Lords, because Lords of Dogtown is kind of a serious autobiographical movie. It sounds kind of like Grind. Did you ever watch the movie Grind with Seth from the OC's in it? Who else is in it? It's about a group of skateboarders that want to go to the X Games, basically, and it's a comedy. It's actually a fun movie. It sounds a lot like Grind meets E.T. You know what I'm saying? Or he wants it to be E.T. I don't know. But skateboarders hunting aliens or researching aliens and government stuff could be fun if it's ridiculous. But, based off what I've seen, the dude's sense of humor in the Blink-182 stuff, it could be a lot of fun. It all depends on his ability to direct and to write. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, I'll keep you posted when we have a title or something. And if I ever watch it, maybe I'll do a review. Then he talked about the potential reunion of Blink-182, because for those of you who don't know, the best player for Blink-182, Mark Hoppus, he got diagnosed with cancer, and supposedly he's in complete remission of stage 4 cancer. Remission means that they can't detect cancer in your system anymore. So here's what he had to say about that. It's so funny with Blink. It's like we're there, we're gone, then we're there, and then we're gone. I feel like I'm always talking about some kind of reunion. We always talk about playing together again, and I think that's definitely something we're all interested in. Finding the time to do it where it lines up with everyone's priorities is really all that's needed, and getting Mark healthy again, getting him strong again. But I'm down. I think those guys are down, and finding the time to do it, and when is what we need to figure out. So it's an interesting idea of Blink-182 coming back, except I thought they got another lead singer, a dude from another band. I don't know. I actually have their album. I just don't remember the guy's name. He did an okay job. It just didn't really sound like the old school Blink-182, the fun one. Blink-182 is a band that went through a few changes that are interesting. You know, it first off being like the rebels, the punk guys, the dudes who are just gonna throw cuss words and stuff. Then they went to kind of like more of a introspective phase, like more mature, like, you know, I miss you, I mean, like kind of more like depressed and stuff. But the music got better, so I don't know, like would it be good? What would like an adult Blink 182 sound like actual grown-ups, like now in their, what are they, 40s or something? Who knows? But I'd listen to it. I'd listen to it because, again, I'm a fan. Whatever. The point is, let's get into the big point. Let's move on to the big story today, and that's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson vowing that he will never again use real guns on the set of his movies. And so, in an interview, this all came down from an interview with Variety. And during the premiere of his film Red Notice, Johnson said that first and foremost, he was shocked and heartbroken by the news that Hutchins had been killed on the set of Alec Baldwin's Rust. This is the story that I've covered last week about, you know, Alec Baldwin shooting the director of photography in his film. And so this is what he had to say. First of all, I was heartbroken. We lost a life. My heart goes out to her family and everybody on set. I've known Alec too for a very long time. And I can't speak for anyone else, but I can tell you without an absence of clarity here, weird way to say that. Without an absence of clarity. Okay, so you got two negatives there. Matt Skiva, thanks, Otto. Yeah, that's the name of the guy from Blink 182, the guy the new lead singer. Without an absence of clarity here, that any movie that we have moving forward with $7 Productions, that's his production company, any movie, any television show, or anything we do or produce, we won't use real guns at all. We're going to switch to rubber guns, and we're going to take care of it on post. We're not going to worry about the dollars. We won't worry about what it costs. So that's what The Rock is saying, right? I'm confused. Honestly, I'm a little bit stuck on without an absence of clarity here. Without an absence, so there's no absence of clarity. Okay, so he's clear. Why would he just say with absolute clarity? Whatever, doesn't matter. It was just one of those stupid linguistic things that sometimes gets me stuck. Whatever. The point is, he's saying no more real guns on the set of his movies. Now he will be using rubber guns, and that's the only thing. Now, it's weird because it's one of those things where you're like, man, it's a tragedy happened and you just took like the completely wrong lesson here. I get it. I'm torn because I understand why the rubber gun argument. I completely understand it. And a part of me agrees because it's like everything in a movie is fake, right? Pretty much everything in a movie is fake. Well, not most of it's fake. You're not really watching people fight. You're not really watching lovers love. You're not really watching anything. Well, I mean, certain things are practical. Practicals just look so much better. Just watch Dune. Most of the stuff is practical. They're actually in the desert. It looks better. But everything's fake. They're not really on Arrakis, for example. They're not really in space. So bringing real guns, it does seem kind of like a silly thing to do. But in certain situations, the whole vowing it off completely seems like a really bad idea. Because let's say, for example, you have a scene with a revolver. I always think back to this scene in Triple X, you know, Vin Diesel, where he's checking out, you know, the revolver. It's like, shh, and he brings it back. You can't do that with a rubber gun. And let me see if I remember the line. Knocked over a few 7-Elevens, have you? Like, no, just one summer I broke my leg and I spent the whole time playing first-person shooters. And so it's a silly little throwaway line, but it stuck with me. You know, that it's fun. It looks fun. It looks cool. You know what? That's the thing. It looks cool. You can't do the click with CGI. So I think in certain situations you do need to have like prop guns, and I don't mean real guns they use as props. I mean prop guns that you can actually. The issue here I have most is that using only rubber stuff. Like what if you want to do like the clack or you know, actually check the bullets and stuff. So it adds other complications that you don't really think of. On the other hand, I do understand the fear. Let's say, for example, you're The Rock. You have guns being pointed at you on set of a movie. You'd feel more comfortable knowing that, I mean, somebody died recently. You'd be like, you know what? How about if we use rubber ones when you aim at me? So I think there would be a happy medium here. Let's say whenever a gun is going to be pointed at somebody, we only use rubber guns. That's it. Only that. Any other time we can see whatever situational. The thing is, vowing it off completely, it gets extremely expensive to have the CGI stuff. It doesn't look as great. Some of it does. Let's say, for example, I think that the John Wick movies, they use a lot of CGI. I mean, if you look at the John Wick movies, they're just shooting people point blank. They have to use CGI. They have to use, but I think it's mostly replicas. Thank you, Otto. That was the word that I was looking for, replicas. And those are safe as well. So I don't understand why you immediately, again, this is one of those knee-jerk reactions that something bad happens and you're like, oh, I got to go to the extreme. But you don't really stop to actually learn the valuable lessons here. The lessons here would be just switch to replicas because they look just the same, look realistic, but they don't have the bullets in there. And then you could still add the CGI stuff, but you have all the other advantages of like putting putting bullets in it or whatever anyway. So you still have all that other advantages. I don't think he's actually considering how expensive it's going to be. And for The Rock's production company, all right, fine, it's his money, he can do it. But I don't really think pushing, let's say if he's partnering with a smaller production company or somebody who doesn't want to spend $100,000 on CGI at the end of the movie, it's going to get different. I mean, when you're the biggest movie star on the planet who doesn't really make the greatest movies because, you make shitty movies. Let's be honest, The Rock makes shitty movies. They're fun, but they're not like exactly, let's say, transcended films. There's one or two that you're like, that was a really great movie, but mostly no. And what are they going to do if, he's under contract already and the contract says, well, you got to do it and we're going to use the other guns because it's cheaper? What, is he going to walk off the movie? Is he going to break a contract? I don't know. It's the whole bowing off thing that's, again, there's an expression in Spanish and it goes, más rápido cae un hablador que un cojo. Basically, loosely translated, it means a talker falls faster than a one-legged man. And it's like, yeah, it's a knee-jerk reaction from the industry. I get why. It's just stupid because the gun argument is one of those arguments that I think it's already lost. It's already been lost. It's like there's a couple of arguments that I think that it's already been lost. I think it's the abortion argument and the gun argument that it's already been lost. Like, for example, with the guns, particularly after COVID, with the gun stuff, more like 60 million guns were sold just in the first few months of COVID alone last year. And like 30% of those were new gun owners. So yeah, good luck with that particular argument. I think it's just long gun, especially with, with crime going up. Yeah, it's a silly argument. And I think they're going to try to use this as a part of the gun argument, which is stupid. It should be just, the argument should have been, I don't feel comfortable with guns being pointed at me anymore, or me pointing a gun at somebody else. So when we're pointing it at somebody, we're using rubber guns. The rest of the time, we'll see what it looks out, what's best for the crew. We'll up our standards of security, or you know what? Just fucking blame the person who did not follow the protocols. You should have been like, hey, this is a tragedy, but it should have been avoided because it's been avoided for the past 30 years. We have great safety standards. We have great safety people. And we trust the people in our industry. I've worked with a lot of people for a really long time that know gun safety. So it's one of those things that you're just like, what are you just gonna just completely be a part of the destruction of an entire department in the film industry? That's what you want to be. Like all the prop masters, all the armors, all that stuff. You want them to just disappear completely? I don't think so. Especially because you know what? They didn't do anything wrong. All the people for 30 years who didn't do anything wrong, they were doing their job, they were doing their safety. And then one asshole doesn't follow the rules, and what, you're punishing somebody else? You're punishing somebody else for something that one idiot did. And the idiot, multiple idiots, because it's Alec Baldwin for pointing a gun at somebody and pulling the trigger, and the armorer for not checking the gun, and it's the assistant director for not checking the gun either. And Alec Baldwin again for not checking the gun. So it just doesn't make any sense. It's a knee-jerk reaction that seems really stupid, and I think it's going to come back to bite him in the ass massively, because it's gonna bring other headaches that you just never think about. And Chef, you got 2 out of those 60 million. I'm not surprised. Recently we went to I was looking for a bow and arrow because I want to try hunting. I want to go camping and do stuff, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna go out hunting, I'm gonna go out in the wild, I gotta hunt, right? And so I want to take a bow and arrow. I want to learn to use bow and arrow because it seems like more old school stuff, right? And I was trying to figure out, well, where can I buy like a hunting bow or something? So we went to a gun shop that's nearby. They don't really have anything in stock. Like, they barely have stuff in stock, and the stuff that they have in stock is extremely expensive. So it's one of those things that you're like, man, still, it's been over a year and still no guns to be found. And I'm in California, which is kind of a pain in the ass to do it. So I don't know. It's a compound bow. It's not a great. I bought one off Amazon. It was like $100. It's not a great bow, and I have no practice with it. I already hit myself in the arm. It was really painful, but it doesn't. Not with the bow. You know, when not with the arrow. I'm sorry. With the string, when you pull it back and you release it, it hits your arm. I had a protector. I had a leather protector on it. Turns out I had to put it a little bit higher. It really hurt, but whatever. Doesn't matter. And yeah, I agree. It takes one to ruin it for everybody, and it shouldn't really. It should just be the rules were working. There are idiots out in the world. And so come to Nevada, Utah. Bow season is early in August, September. Hey, you know what? I'm down. I'm down to try all that stuff because it seems like, you know what? Fun. Because guns are fun. And also bow hunting will be fun. Just, Otto, try to not stand in front of me. Try to stand, like behind. All right. Yeah, definitely. Text me. Yeah, I'm not going to do auto season stuff. Just let me know when it's going on. But yeah. And this is actually having a cascade effect, this thing with The Rock, because now another movie has announced that they won't be using real guns on set. A movie with Ryan Phillippe and what's his name? Let me see. Ryan Phillippe, Kate Bosworth, and Big Rames called The Locksmith. It's an indie feature, and it will be among the first to begin filming in New Mexico after the Rust tragedy, and they will use rubber guns and CGI instead of real guns. Now, honestly, this all depends on the plot of the movie. But if you're doing an indie movie, I'm assuming you don't have a big budget for guns. I'm assuming you don't have the big budget. So adding CGI to it, it's really going to affect the indie industry. It all depends. Like, if there's only one gunshot in the entire movie, then okay, it's a little bit better. But if it's more of an action movie, they're gonna have stuff. But the point is, it's becoming a trend. And here's the statement that they said: we will be using rubber guns and adding flash and sound by computer during post-production. The recent events caused us to go in the direction of rubber guns. This is weird. This is really weird. I get it. You don't want to be the first person to be, like, hey, we're using guns again in the same state, blah blah blah. But somebody's gonna have to do it, or what? Everybody's just gonna run away. Again, it depends on the movie. When I have more info about this stuff, I'll tell you. But it's just dumb. It seems dumb. It seems like a bad idea, and it seems like, honestly, I think it's gonna bite them in the ass. So there you go. Let's see, Otto. Fuck you. Why fuck me? What did I do? What did I say? Just because I'm moving on from the topic? What the hell? Pricey for was it because of what I said about the pricey for out of season stuff? I thought it sounded fun. I thought going out bow hunting sounded fun. Oh, okay, I get it. It's because I said to stand behind me. Yeah, I once accidentally threw a rock at Otto's head. I didn't throw it at him. I threw it in the wrong direction. It curved. It hit him in the head. When I have Otto on the podcast, we'll break down that entire story. I think you'll be on my side that it was just plain old bad luck. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So like I said, The Rock, no more guns on set. You know what? I know that this is going to change. I'm pretty sure. I think it's one of those things where people just talk out of their ass immediately and then they eventually regret it. I think. You know what? It's highly likely. Because at the end of the day, if it looks crappy on screen, they're gonna change it. And if it gets too pricey, especially for indie movies, they're gonna get out of it. They're going to just be like, no, we can't do this. We need to go back to practicals, especially because we have a lot of people in the industry that know how to do all this stuff, and we did it for so many years safely, and then one idiot came and ruined it for everybody. So I don't think this is going to. It's not a trend that's going to stick, but it should change. Honestly, it should change that if you're pointing a gun at somebody, it should be a rubber gun. At least I'd feel more comfortable as a stuntman, as an actor or whatever. If somebody's pointing a gun at me, I'd be like, hey, could you at least use the rubber one? Right? Or maybe the replica. No, use the rubber one. I'd feel more comfortable. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's a good place to stop. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me live on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Let's see, Otto, what's the last of you said? You know what you said, asshole. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Anyway, just join me live. You can be a part of the chat there. You can be part of, like, Otto, who just, keeps slandering me on my own show. You want to send me something privately, you can do it on Instagram at Super Dario World and at Dario SDW. As always, thanks for joining me. And what? No, wait. I forgot something. No, it doesn't matter. As always, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.